Hello and welcome back to Steve's Retro Loft, and if you can't tell from the image on the screen, it's time to look back in history at what was happening 40 odd years ago, so let's take a look. So we start with the news from the 3rd of February 1983, and the TS2000 with a new silver look finish, so variations on a theme. The new look Spectrum, the TS2000 and the ZX printer, the TS2040, have been specifically designed by Timex for the American market. Apart from its silver exterior, it's pretty much the same thing underneath. I always thought they had a slightly different version of the Spectrum as well, one with a sort of built-in ROM port. Yeah, maybe at this early stage they didn't know what they were doing. But as you say, you've got a slightly different looking Spectrum and an Alphacom 32 rebadged as a Timex Sinclair product. But there you go, that's that. Moving on, there's a summer plan for Binatone. So Binatone looks like they were going to produce a computer system in December, but obviously that didn't happen. So it's now going to be May or June, and they're hoping to aim for a price of around about £50, which is, pretty good when you think about it. And it's going to have a full-size push-button keyboard, 16 colours with high-res graphics, expandable up to 64K, running Microsoft Basic. And there's a fairly good chance. Did it ever come out? Because I don't remember it. But then again, there was thousands of computers around at the time. So let's move on to the news now. Oric have switched away from mail order and they're going direct sales, so including partners of WH Smith's and Curry's, and a few others are mentioned there as well. Next up, Atari signed some big names. Now, Atari's looking to launch a video game based on the Raiders of the Lost Ark, surprisingly featuring well-known characters. I was disappointed with that. Rather than Indiana Jones, I wanted to play the third Nazi on the right. Yeah, only joking. It was the fourth one. What else they're doing? So let's have a look. They're just effectively trying to sign up sort of various different cartoon characters and produce games on it. Did any of those games, did the Snoopy, Mickey Mouse and Woodstock game ever appear? I don't know. What else have we got? So the government approval for microcomputers. New guidelines from the UK Treasury indicate that government departments will more likely purchase British-made computers. Yeah. The updated approval list includes 7 companies like ICL and Torch. Never heard of Torch. Comart and I think, a few others. Oh, Research Machines and Commodore. What else have we got on the list? So now there's a Commodore voice synthesizer. A voice synthesizer for the Commodore 64 has been announced, enabling a variety of voices and applications. It connects to the machine via a cartridge and can be fully utilised through basic commands. And it's around about £65. So what else have we got? John Wiley & Sons will distribute Acorn Soft's software and book titles across Europe. Yes, there you go. I hope they came out in time, and unlike the Electron. Anyway, enough of that. So Lisp for the Spectrum now. Cirrus Software has developed a Lisp interpreter for the Spectrum. So £15 if you ever wanted to program in Lisp or whatever it is. Moving on to the 10th of February. Now, what have we got here? So we've got the toy trade moves into computers. The British Toy and Hobby exhibition showcased significant developments, including 3 microcomputer systems. Yes. So what else have we got? We've got Mattel entering the market, the micro market. What else have they got here? So it's an Aquarius. I can't remember if I've ever used an Aquarius. Somebody I know had one and they couldn't get it to work, and my mate Rob managed to sort of figure it out. It's one of those strange ones. I think it had a basic cartridge in it, and then it had a separate sort of games cartridge, and you had to, if you were trying to load the games, you had to use a separate cartridge to get it working. I don't know if that's Aquarius. Anyway, I'm starting to waffle on now. Let's move on to the headlines. So what else have we got? We've got a new machine from Japan. So Tomy, or the grandstand computer from Tomy, a TMS 99/98 based system with 16K RAM, 16K ROM, full-size keyboard, and it offers 3 modes of operation. So yeah, so what else are they talking about with that? So creative system from video technology. So it's a modular home computer system. Blah blah blah, and they always come with educational programs and games starting at £19.99. There's the Commodore Soundbox. So we had speech last week, and this week we got a Soundbox. So. I always thought the Commodore 64 sound was okay. So this is just providing high quality sound reproduction with a dual loudspeaker system. If it's 3 channels, how does dual loudspeaker system work? So you've got left, right, and it's something in between. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's not a lot of news on that one, so let's move on to some adverts. Now, again, we've got the VIC-20 computer from the Vic Centre. I'm sure it's £135 last month, so maybe it's coming down a little bit in price. And also we've got Chameleon computer games. I've never heard of them. With such classics as adventure games, Tower of Brasht. I'm hopefully reading that right. Yep. Ghost of Radon. They're making some of these up, aren't they? Wizard of Sham, and some war games, which is King Arthur and Battle of the Bulge. And there's some children's games here. The Peter Rabbit series. That's very nice. What else have we got? We've got C-Tech Software. Is this the end of Space Invaders as we know it with Crazy Kong? Basically, is it Donkey Kong sort of borrowed? And looks like they've created Pac-Man. But yeah. So, yeah. Let's move on to the next feature. The feature is the Oric comes alive. The Oric 1 microcomputer has recently caught the attention of W.H. Smith's chain, indicating a promising future for the machine. Priced under £100 for the 16K version. I say it's good value. This microcomputer was a collaboration between Tangerine Computing Systems, Oric Products International, and backing from British car auctions. I mean, that's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, yeah, Oric and Tangerine, you sort of, yeah, they're both, I mean, I assume the Tangerine Computer Systems and Oric were always in this sort of market, and then British car auctions decided they wanted to have a go. Yeah, that one surprises me. I'm not sure, if they got anything out of it. Maybe they were hoping to power their auctions using an Oric 1 computer. Who knows? So let's have a look. So the machine is aiming to provide extensive features at a low cost, targeting the home microcomputer market, which is currently dominated by Sinclair. It uses a G18912, never heard of it, sound chip for superior audio, which is similar to arcade machines, and offers a colour resolution of 1x6 pixels. I don't know what that means. Outpacing the competitors like the Spectrum. Now, the Oric 1 features a Centronics interface for easy printer connectivity and an RGB monitor output, and it keeps costs low by employing 64K DRAM chips. Yeah, and the processor is the 6502, which, at the time is either going to be a Z80 or 6502. And as I say, Tangerine, I think it says here, have had previous experience with the chip. Now, it goes on to say about potential markets and use cases. Now, the Oric 1 is designed to appeal not just to gamers, but also to small business owners, providing a cost-effective entry point into computing. And we all know how that went. All the businesses rushed out to buy it, didn't they? No. And did the gamers rush out to buy it? Unfortunately not. So, yeah. That's that. But, yeah, they had a go, and pretty much there was loads of other people doing exactly the same thing at the time. So here's the programming feature for this week. So the programming feature is called Type Founts Galore. Now the idea is it's creating and storing character sets on the ZX Spectrum. It goes on to say that the Spectrum character set is primarily a copy of the ZX81's uppercase numbers and letters, and limited users to only redefining 21 characters. While this restricts the creation of foreign alphabets or new typefaces, a method exists to create a custom character set using system variables. And it's quite a useful little thing here. It tells you how to go and create the custom character set and reserve in memory, and obviously towards the upper end of the reaches of RAM top, there's around, it says here, around about 64K. it's I think if you clear 63,999, and effectively it stops this area being overwritten. I'm not sure if you can do much damage in there, but there's a little bit of a basic program, and it's pretty useful to know these sort of things. So it says to test your character set, change the character sets by pointing to new locations by poking them, and again, there's a lot of stuff to go on, and I'm not going to talk about the whole thing here because it's hopefully only going to be a 20-minute video. We'll see. But considerations, so this approach offers a way to customize the spectrum's output, but it will also alter all keywords in the basic language. So yeah, be warned what you do, because you might confuse things. Then everything is recoverable from a restart, and but yeah, so it's not going to do any permanent damage. But if you want to do these little things, there you go, you can do them. Moving on to the 17th of February, we've got a couple of stories. Now, two companies, Premier Microsystems and CompuSense, are set to launch disk systems for the Dragon 32. I don't know if they ever came out, and let's look at the prices. Packages, a twin disc system is 500 odd quid, and one of them is £99. So you can see out the two of them which one probably would have succeeded if they did, or if they even ever came out. The other story is Sinclair sales top 200,000. So Sinclair researchers successfully sold over 200,000 Spectrum computers since their launch 9 months ago, and the company expects weekly sales to reach 12 to 15,000 units by Easter. So yeah, it was a reasonable seller. Now, to capitalise on the initial success, Sinclair's expanded its retail distribution. So in branches of Boots, I bought stuff from Boots in the past, computer stuff. It's always weird you say Boots and computers, you wouldn't have thought about it, but yeah. I mean, I've got Boots blank cassettes and things like that. So yeah, so Boots, Curry's, Greens. I think I remember Greens. John Menzies. And additionally, they will supply John Lewis, House of Fraser, and Xerox stores. I don't recall ever seeing a Xerox store, but yeah, there we go. Let's move on to the headlines now. I've just covered some of the additional bits there. What else have we got? So a creative software partnership. It says creative software says unalive, because this is the internet and I can't use that other word. I don't know why. It's a bit strange. So Creative Software signed an exclusive distribution deal with Audiogenic for its titles for the VIC-20. I'm reading the wrong story. Am I reading the wrong story? No, I'm not reading the wrong story. It's let's have a look. They will utilise a unique die manufacturing technique for their cartridges. Oh, they're producing cartridges. So that's how it is. That's what they're talking about. So what else have we got on this page? So the 6th ZX Micro Fair will take place on February the 26th and feature over 100 exhibitors releasing new software. And Atari has initiated legal action against Philips over copyright issues related to Pac-Man. I mean, everyone was copying Pac-Man. So yeah, I think in the end Atari ended up suing lots of people over the years. I think they eventually sued people in the 90s for people using the 9-pin joystick adapter port. So yeah, that's why Nintendo always did their own thing, I think. What else have we got? Now we've got a micro industry group to get protection. So a new society of computer manufacturers, agents and dealers have been formed to represent the interests of those in the microcomputer trade, particularly against the impact of software libraries. They used to go on about software libraries a lot at the time. Also, US competition for the Spectrum. Texas Instruments has reduced the price of its TI-99/4A, catchy name, computer, intensifying competition with Sinclair, as it will retail for £98 effectively in the US market, which is close to the 16k Spectrum's proposed price. Another Dragon story, because why not? Trojan Products are releasing a light pen for the Dragon 32, priced at £10, which if you're really into that sort of thing, is a reasonable price. I didn't have one, but I'm sure I borrowed one, and it's fairly limited what you can do. They go on to mention that it allows faster input methods into game and data entry tasks. I'm not entirely sure what games would have used a light pen, but yeah. I'll skip the letters for this month because I want to have a look at the world of astrology. So yeah, so you could use your ZX81 or your Spectrum to make stuff up. Let's have a look. What does this program do? Use a prompting programs merely key in the date of birth information as required by the computers and read out what it. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, available. At your fingertips. The sidereal time of birth. I'm not sure if they're making some of these words up. The ascendant and midheaven in sign, degrees, minutes, seconds, and of the equal house system. The signs and positions of the house cusps. Yeah, the sun and moon positions. All the planets and positions, the lunar node, and the part of the fortune, the vertex, and a host of other birth chart informations at the touch of a key. Talking of planets, I think they're talking out of their Uranus. So, what else have we got? We've got a feature here from the IBM PC, or it's the European version of the IBM PC. Boris Allen looks at the European version of the IBM PC. Already said that. Looks at the market position and comparative strengths, and so look at the key features and specifications of this device. So the minimum configuration is a 40K ROM. 64K RAM. This is a PC, remember. 160K, which will be single-sided 5.25-inch disc, keyboard, monochrome display, and a printing adapter, and starts from £2,000. Wow. The recommended configuration is a 40K ROM. I don't know why they specify the ROM, because computers can't really operate without them, can they? And 128K of RAM and two double-sided discs. So and that will set you back at £3,400. God, that's expensive. The processor is the Intel 8088. Yes, before the 8086. Or did the 8086 come out first? You would have thought so. You would have thought they'd come out in sequential numbers, wouldn't they? The 86 was the processor. The 87 was the maths coprocessor. I don't know what the 8088 was. Maybe it's a combination of the both. Memory is expandable up to 0.5 MB, and it supports CP/M and IBM PC DOS. And And so, the education potential of the PCs, it's been promoted as an versatile education tool, so you can learn in computer science and various different programs. Its compatibility with a range of compilers enhances its utility in educational settings. From a user experience, Alan says it's not really aimed as a business tool, which is a bit strange because PCs ended up being a business tool initially, but as an educational device. And the initial experiences include in booting up, and the system booted up relatively smoothly, presenting an executive level where users can start programming. Now, the programming basic, upon selecting advanced basic, the author encountered some initial syntax issues, highlighting a requirement for separate keywords with spaces and adjustment for those that use things like the Sinclair Spectrum with keywords. The graphics performance is noteworthy, and the resolution was a stunning, compared to the Spectrum, 320 times 200, and a high resolution of 640 times 200. Yeah, there you go. Knock yourself out with that. It's worse than VGA. Now, the conclusion is the IBM PC stands out as a competitive option for the educational market due to its robust features and flexible usage and dedicated support from authorised dealers. It was also in the market with the research machines, 380Zs and 480Zs, and I used those back in my early days in my YTS, my youth training thing I had. But yeah, that's the IBM PC for you. So let's move on to February the 24th. Now there's a warning to games manufacturers or game makers. Manufacturers of traditional board games are increasingly taking action against companies that produce unauthorised computer versions of their games, which is understandable. I'm guessing there's a lot of very, very similar things. Obviously, I know Spectrum had proper versions of Scrabble and Monopoly and things like that. But yeah, so what else have we got? So yeah, so the trademark protection. So many companies are actively working to protect their trademark in games. So yeah, it's understandable. There's lots of copying going on at the time, and traditional board makers probably could see their profits diminishing when people started producing home computer versions of their games. Now there's another Atari price cut. The Atari 400 has been dropped by £30, and there's a programmer kit. For it brings it up to a combined £200. So yeah, so the Atari 800 remains at £400, but it includes increased RAM for a standard of 48K, up from 16. I mean, if you spent 400 quid and only got a 16K machine previously, that's pretty bad. So what else have we got in the main stories? And again, goes back onto the trademark warnings now. TSR Hobbies issued a full-page advert cautioning against producing unlicensed versions of its popular game Dungeons and Dragons, and this notice serves as a formal notification to anybody trying to use part of any TSR trademarks. So yeah, following on from the initial headline story. I think there's a quote from Waddington's. So Waddington's known for their board games, also concerned about unauthorised adaptations. And yeah, understandable. Yeah, as I said, I don't want to go too much into that. There's some new developments from NEC. Now, NEC has announced the release of the PC 6000 series in the US, a home computer designed for casual and educational use. They were all educational use. Now, it's based on a Z80 compatible chip, 16K RAM. The usual stuff. Price expected to be around £350 in the US equivalent, and potential UK price of £400. This was the time when there was about $2 to the pound. Yeah, I mean, you always have a little bit more on import duty and VAT and whatever, but I just think they've made it up. So what else have we got? We've got a Virgin Group expanding into video games. Now, the Virgin Group, remember them, are entering the video games market with the establishment of Virgin Games. And this new subsidiary aims to develop games for several platforms, including the Atari and Sinclair products. So yeah, and there's a nice picture of a smiling Richard Branson. Yes, let's move on from him. Let's take a look at some of the letters, and that's what else have we got. So, R.A. Smith, a headmaster of Blue Bell Junior School, expresses his appreciation for the popular Computing Weekly, but notes the lack of coverage for the BBC compared to the Spectrum and Dragon. Yeah, one of those things, really. He emphasises the local education authority only recommends the BBC and urges the magazine to promote more content for BBC users. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they could buy a book. They're posh enough. They got the money. If they bought a BBC, they're loaded. Only joking. Now, the response from the letter said the magazine has launched a special page dedicated to the BBC, focusing on its educational applications. And the editor invites BBC owners to submit programmes developed for school. What else have we got? And Jay Robinson shares his insight about the Dragon computer, noting the existence of 32 inverse characters that aren't easily accessible via the keyboard, and he provides a short program to reveal these characters. So if you have a Dragon 32 and you want to get your inverse characters, there you go. There's your bit of information. So the story here, clocking up on Hungry Horace. It's a story about how this David, apparently his children have managed to become addicted to the game, and they found a flaw in the game, so you can obviously get a high score somehow. Yeah, I know, bit of a cheat, eh? So what else have we got? So we got a story from Mr. W. Slater, and just having a sort of whinge about manuals, and I think he's talking about the Dragon manual, criticises poorly written manual that accompanies the computer. I'm sure one of the previous episodes they were talking about the manual coming out and they were going to bring a better manual out, so I'm not sure if that ever happened. Right, what else have we got? We've got Mr. N. Scott, roll up and have a shot. So appreciates the magazine as a program for the Atari 800 and decides to continue his subscription. Give the people what they want and they will subscribe, I guess. The editor encourages users to submit more programs. Now, what else have we got? So, a story from David, or letter from David Ward about cents on royalty. So, basically, a lot of issues around the time we talk about software libraries and royalties, and I'm guessing, it was, one of those sort of things that people were concerned about. Software companies rightly wouldn't have wanted people to loan out their software because, they'd make one sale and it could go out to 10 or 15 people. Then, then they're not getting any additional money. I'm sure when libraries buy books, I'm sure they have to buy them at a higher price because they know they're going to be lent out. So maybe that was something that they did. Moving on, and we've got a feature on the Electron and an interview with Chris Curry. Now, David Kelly discusses the promising future of Acorn's BBC Micro and the upcoming launch of the Electron with insights from Managing Director Chris Curry. Now, the BBC Micro's success and market position is being well received. As I say, it's particularly through its inclusion of the Department of Industry's micros in primary scheme. So, effectively, if you don't know the story, is Acorn won a competition, effectively to put the BBC Micro into all their sort of primary schools. Or as many as they possibly could, and it says here there's a 80% take-up rate. And it's I think Curry was expressing optimism that the BB machine was on track to become the standard in educational settings, and it's increasingly preferred by individuals seeking a step up from the ZX Spectrum. I don't think people saw that as a step up. It had a nice keyboard, but the whole primarily reason people had the Spectrum was for playing games. Really, when you think about it, some of us used it for education. Well, some people, maybe not me. Now, the story goes on. So the Electron was set to release by the end of March. I think they wanted to release it by Christmas, but then they had issues with the ULA. And it goes on to talk about the expanding international markets and compatibility between the BBC and the Electron, and the various different design. For the future, now the markets and competition and future prospects. So Curry acknowledges the fierce competition in the low-cost market sector, with new models frequently emerging. He reassures that Acorn have resolved past issues with supply shortages and determined to launch the Electron only when they meet demand effectively. And if you know the story, I think it came out too late, and pretty much it wasn't the end of Acorn, but it didn't help. They lost a lot of money on it, from what I understand, and we all know what happened then. And finally, there's a top 10 software for the 24th of February to 2nd of March. Now, I don't recall seeing this in any of the other magazines I've looked at, so whether this was a new thing. As you can see, it's early days because we've got Atari, Spectrum, ZX81, and VIC-20s. So, a good few things there. I mean, for me, the Atari, I don't care about it. It was nothing that I ever looked at. And it's always strange that the figures were compiled by one computer shop. In this case, it's Callisto Computers in Birmingham. I'd never heard of them. I live in Birmingham, so it's one of the sort of things. It's an Atari shop in Birmingham. I don't quite know what their sales were like. The Spectrum, there's a couple of shops. The Spectrum and the ZX81 were figures compiled by the Buffer Micro Shop in London, and the VIC-20 was from the Vic Centre in London, and the books are from Watford Technical Books. Yeah, a bit of a strange way of doing charts, but I'm guessing it's just there might be some regional variations. But there you go. So what Spectrum games have we got? So we've got Penetrator, The Hobbit, Timegate, Horace Goes Skiing, Arcadia, 3D Tanks, Spectrum Chess, Flight Sim, Football Manager, and Spectral Invaders. So, what I tend to do is I try and link a game to look at whilst I'm looking at these old magazines. And, Horace Goes Skiing is the latest victim. So, let's take a look. So, as promised, we'll take a look at Horace Goes Skiing. And, let's fire it up. I wouldn't call it music, more really annoying sound effects. So let's press a key and start the game. So, so the idea is there's like a Frogger game at the start. Oops, and then you have to collect your skis, then you have to go back. Yay! I'll turn the sound down a little because it's not exactly music, it's just quite screeching sound effects. The motorbikes are the difficult ones. Yes! Straight onto the slopes. Oh! Bottoms. Now, I believe the collision detection with the trees seems to be a bit awkward from what I remember. Ooh. Oops. Oh. Yeah, so the ski's broken, so I have to go and get a new set of skis now. So I'll try not to get run over. Bit of a traffic jam on the lower screen. Yes. Oh. I suppose the good thing is when you do get run over, you you actually do stay where the skis were. You don't go back to the start. Almost out of cash, I think. Any more accidents and that's it. It's I'm toast. Oh yes. Not sure if there's a set defined map on this or not. Oops. Oh. Damn. Getting quite into this. Better than winter sports. I finished, and not sure what I'm rewarded with. Is it another skiing session, or is it? No, I have to cross the roads with with even more cars. And so when you get run over, you get charged £10 or $10, whatever it is. That must be America. Let's have a look. Eventually, the traffic might cease. Oh, whew, that was a close one. Back on the slopes again. I'm not sure if it's exactly the same slopes, the same ski run or not. I think are the gates now. I think the gates are slightly narrower this time, aren't they? Yeah. So the detection there wasn't great. So detection at the bottom of a oops, the tree's okay. It's quite easy to collide with the top of the tree. Um, Ah, yeah, yeah. I think that was Horace Goes Skiing, and I think that's where I'll end it. Yeah. So. Not a bad game, really. It's a strange combination of a sort of Frogger type game and then a odd skiing game. But yeah, other than that, it was okay. I wouldn't go mad over it. I know recently there's been some sort of not recreations, but there's been some reissues of Horace, and I've never really saw the need to buy it again because I've already got a few copies of each one of them. I suppose the getting the misprints, there were one or two misprints available all around. But other than that, there's no other reason to sort of rush out and buy it. And I've never really connected with any of the games. It's Horace Goes Skiing, Horace and the Spiders, and Hungry Horace. I can't remember what Horace and the Spiders was. I think Hungry Horace is more of a Pac-Man type clone. Um, but yeah, I'll look at them again at some point. But yeah, that was it. That was the review of the month in history, and a little bit of Horace Goes Skiing. Now, if you like what I do, please like, comment, and subscribe, and click the bell icon so you get notified next time one of these videos dropped. But until next time, I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.